Zoya's hearing was identified during the newborn hearing screening program. I distinctly remember it was the next day after Zoya was born in the hospital. There was a nurse technician who came in. She had a device which was like this long, a couple of electrodes coming out of it. I didn't really think much of it. It was just one of those things that they just needed to check. Then in the end, she said that there's no response. She'll come back the next day to repeat the procedure. And then this time, the audiologist, she had a laptop, and from the laptop, there were like 5 or 6 electrodes that were coming out. And then she had to, plug all of them to Zoya. And it was just difficult looking at, 6 electrodes getting attached to Zoya. And we sat there for 6 hours. So in the end of 6 hours, she said that, okay, I've done the testing for 1 year, and there is hearing loss. And then we asked her what are the next steps. She said that, okay, we're going to run the same test on her second year. We're going to give you a complete breakdown of all the findings. Now you're on the pathway of hearing loss. Then I asked her, how bad is it? And she said that, look at me, right? I am wearing hearing aids and I'm doing this job. There are technological advances and interventions that we can do to make sure that she has a perfectly stable and normal life. Sana and I both were very clear that we're going to make use of every intervention that is available. The audiologist, Emma, was wearing the hearing aid, so that was ingrained in my mind. She's deaf, she's wearing hearing aids, but then she's doing a very technical job. So yeah, that's okay. So when she said hearing aids are going to be offered to us, it was not even a discussion, right? The only concern was that how are we going to use the hearing aid for a baby, who's like this big, right? So that was the only concern. What strategies we need to deploy to ensure that the hearing aids are going to get used. So by the end of 7th week, she got fitted with hearing aids in the end, in both years. That was a bit difficult to get used to us inserting the modes and then the entire thing. It took 15 minutes every time that we needed to put in the hearing aids, and then if they fell off, the same cycle starts. But yeah, we got used to it. It's now part of the routine. As Zoya was coming up the age, we have always told her that these are something that are good for her. And thankfully, she hadn't thrown it away out of habit. The other thing was hearing aid can get dismantled into 3 parts. So one is the tube, the one is the mold, and the other one is the hearing aid himself. And all 3 of them are choking hazards. So we need to make sure that somebody had to be with her at every waking hour. Our communication strategy with Zoya has been multi-pronged. We use hearing aids. We've always made sure that she's always wearing, even in a home setting. We've also introduced her to sign language. We have done the family sign language courses on NDCS. Plus, we have also introduced her to cute speech, which is basically using different signs to enunciate the tones in spoken language. So we are doing a combination of spoken language, and we speak 2 languages at home, Urdu and English. Initially, when we asked for the radio aid in the nursery, the answer was no, because policy was that radio aid will only be given after reception. We challenged that decision, and all the material that I'd gotten off of from the NDCS website helped me to prepare that case, and then it got approved. We had to find funding because radio aid is an expensive piece of equipment. So we had to find funding sources. Again, got signposted from NDCS and then went through all the detailed application processes. And we finally got the funding. So basically the moral of our journey is equip yourself with as much information as possible. We know our kids best. Try to employ every strategy that you can. You can modify them on the basis of your present circumstances, and always challenge the first response that you get from the professionals. Knock every door. Funding should not be a hurdle, an obstacle that would dissuade you to not deploy a strategy that would help your child in the long run, or even in the short run. There are funding sources available. Explore them. It is tedious. You need to spend a lot of time, and you need to get a thick skin, because I get no answer from a lot of organizations that I reached out to. But 3 worked out, and we got 2 radio aids and funding for her therapy. So have a thick skin and just soldier on.